The notification lit up my phone at 3:45 a.m. on a Tuesday. I wasn't supposed to see it. Not then, maybe not ever. But insomnia had me scrolling through work emails when the message from my brother-in-law popped up on my screen. "Dylan, call me when you see this. Don't wait." Attached was a single screenshot. My hands went numb as I stared at the image. It was a text conversation between my wife of 8 years, Rebecca, and someone saved in her phone as Jim Trevor. The timestamp showed 11:34 p.m., just hours earlier, while I'd been in our home office finishing a presentation for Thursday's client meeting. "Can't stop thinking about this afternoon. You're incredible." "Same. When can I see you again? Tomorrow?" "Brad's working late Thursday. Come over at 7. Brad. That was me. I read my own name 3 times before my brain would process it. My brother-in-law's follow-up message came through. "Saw this on her iPad at dinner. She left it on the counter. I'm sorry, man." Screenshot before she noticed. I sat there in our bed. The bed Rebecca and I had picked out together at that overpriced furniture store in downtown Portland. The one where she'd insisted on the organic cotton sheets because she'd read an article about sustainable living. She was sleeping 18 inches away from me, her blonde hair fanned across the pillow, one hand tucked under her cheek like she always slept. Peaceful, innocent, a stranger. My first instinct was to wake her up, to shove the phone in her face and demand answers. Instead, I got out of bed and walked to the bathroom, closing the door before turning on the light. In the mirror, I looked exactly like I had 12 hours ago, 34 years old, brown hair getting a little thin at the temples, the same face I shaved every morning. But something fundamental had shifted. The man staring back at me was married to a woman who was planning to sleep with someone else in our house while I was at work. I opened Rebecca's contact on my phone. We'd been together since college, met at a fraternity party junior year, dated through graduation, moved to Portland together when she got into law school. Married at 26. Our daughter Emma was 5 now, starting kindergarten in the fall. Emma. The thought of my daughter sleeping in her princess-themed room down the hall made my stomach twist. What would this do to her? I needed proof. Real proof. Not just one screenshot that Rebecca could potentially explain away. My brother-in-law Kevin was reliable, but I'd learned enough from my work in corporate litigation to know that one text message wasn't the whole story. I grabbed my laptop from the office and spent the next hour researching. Oregon was a no-fault divorce state, which meant infidelity wouldn't technically matter for the divorce itself. But it could impact custody arrangements and spousal support, depending on how it affected our daughter and our finances. Rebecca made good money as an associate at her firm, about $90,000 a year to my $120,000. But we'd always kept our finances separate, except for the joint account we used for household expenses. The house was in both our names. We'd bought it 4 years ago, right before Emma was born, stretching our budget for the good school district. At 4:15 a.m., I texted Kevin back, "Thanks for telling me. Don't mention this to anyone yet. I need to figure some things out." His response came immediately. "Whatever you need. Lisa and I are here for you." I didn't go back to bed. Instead, I sat in the kitchen and watched the sky lighten over our backyard, where Rebecca's carefully maintained vegetable garden was just starting to show spring growth. She'd spent last weekend out there with Emma, teaching her about planting tomatoes. Perfect mother. Perfect wife. Perfect liar. Rebecca came downstairs at 6:30, already dressed in her work clothes, gray pencil skirt, white blouse, hair pulled back in the neat bun she favored for the office. She startled when she saw me sitting at the kitchen table. You're up early, she said, moving to the coffee maker. Couldn't sleep? Work stuff, I said. My voice sounded normal. That surprised me. Big presentation Thursday. Right, the Riverside account. She poured her coffee, added the oat milk she'd switched to last month. You'll do great. You always do. I watched her perform the morning routine we'd repeated thousands of times. She checked her phone, the same phone where she'd been texting Trevor about seeing him Thursday night. Her expression didn't change. No guilt, no nervousness. She scrolled through something, smiled slightly, then set it down to butter her toast. I've got a late meeting tonight, she said. Deposition prep. Might not be home until 8 or 9. Which case? She didn't miss a beat. The Patterson litigation, the one I told you about last week? She hadn't mentioned any Patterson litigation. I would have remembered. Right, I said. Good luck with that. Emma's footsteps thundered down the stairs before Rebecca could respond. Our daughter burst into the kitchen, already talking about the field trip her pre-K class was taking to the zoo next week. I pulled her into my lap, breathing in the strawberry scent of her shampoo, and felt something harden in my chest. Rebecca had made her choice. Now I had to make mine. But first, I needed to know everything. I arrive at the Portland Community Foundation offices at 9:15 a.m. The receptionist recognizes me. I've been to enough of Rebecca's fundraising events over the years and waves me through to the conference room where the scholarship committee meets. Dylan, what a nice surprise. Patricia Nguyen, the foundation's executive director, stands from the table where she's reviewing applications with 2 other board members. Rebecca didn't mention you'd be joining us today. She doesn't know I'm here. I keep my voice pleasant. I wanted to understand more about the scholarship selection process, for Emma's sake, teaching her about philanthropy. The lie comes easier than it should. Patricia's smile doesn't waver. Of course, we're just reviewing this year's finalists. Rebecca's done wonderful work expanding the program. I take a seat at the far end of the table. Spread across the polished surface are manila folders, each one labeled with a student's name and high school. The Brennan Family Scholarship Fund, named after Rebecca's grandmother, awards $10,000 annually to 3 students from underserved communities in Portland. Rebecca established it 6 years ago after her grandmother died and left her $200,000. Tax-deductible charitable giving. Good optics for her career. She'd been so proud of it, showing me the first batch of applications, talking about making a real difference. I'd believed her then. Walk me through how selections work, I say. Patricia exchanges a glance with the other board members, Gary Miller and Joanne Park, both retired educators. Well, students submit applications through their high school counselors. We evaluate based on academic achievement, financial need, and community involvement. Rebecca handles the initial screening, then brings her top candidates to us for final approval. How many applications do you typically receive? This year we had 47. Patricia pulls out a spreadsheet. Rebecca narrowed it down to these 6 finalists. I lean forward, scanning the names. 4 are students I don't recognize. But 2 names make my stomach clench. Destiny Williams. Marcus Hill. I know those names. I've seen them before. Can I see the rejected applications? I ask. Gary frowns. That's unusual. Those are confidential student records. I'm a board member. It's technically true. Rebecca added me as a co-trustee when she established the fund. Though I've been hands-off with the day-to-day operations, I have the same access rights as Rebecca. Patricia hesitates, then nods to her assistant. Bring the full application files. While we wait, I make small talk about Emma's kindergarten, about the foundation's other programs. My phone buzzes twice, Rebecca texting to ask about my morning. I don't respond. The assistant returns with 2 file boxes. I start pulling folders, scanning applications at random. Most are heartbreaking. Kids from foster care, students working full-time to support younger siblings, teenagers who've overcome addiction or homelessness, all with stellar grades and test scores. Then I find it. The application from Destiny Williams. 4.0 GPA. Perfect SAT scores. First in her family to attend college. Works 20 hours a week at a grocery store to help her single mother pay rent. Accepted to Stanford with partial financial aid, but still short $15,000 for her first year. Rebecca's notes in the margin. Not a good fit for our mission. I flip to Marcus Hill's file. 3.98 GPA. National Merit Scholar. Immigrant parents who own a struggling restaurant. Accepted to MIT. His essay about teaching himself calculus from library books because his high school didn't offer advanced math makes my chest tight. Rebecca's notes. Doesn't demonstrate sufficient community engagement. These 2 students, I say, holding up the folders. Why weren't they selected as finalists? Joanne leans over to look. Oh, I remember those applications. I actually flagged both of them during our preliminary review last month. But Rebecca said they didn't meet the criteria. What criteria? She said. Joanne frowns, flipping through her notes. She said Williams had disciplinary issues at school, and Hill's family income was too high to qualify for need-based aid. I pull out my phone and photograph both applications, including Rebecca's handwritten notes. Then I open my laptop and log into the scholarship fund's bank account, another benefit of being a co-trustee. The foundation account should show regular deposits of investment income from the original $200,000 endowment, plus any additional donations. Withdrawals should only be scholarship payments to students and minimal administrative costs. Instead, I see something else entirely. Over the past 18 months, there have been 15 wire transfers to an organization called Urban Youth Educational Initiative. Each transfer ranges from $8,000 to $12,000. Total, $147,000. What's Urban Youth Educational Initiative? I ask. Patricia looks confused. I've never heard of it. I run a search on my phone. Nothing. No website, no charity registration, no public records. I check the Oregon Secretary of State's business registry. No entity by that name. My hands are steady as I screenshot the bank records. Forward them to my personal email. Download the full transaction history. Dylan, what's going on? Patricia's voice has shifted from friendly to concerned. I don't answer. Instead, I pull up the scholarship fund's annual reports, the documents Rebecca files with the IRS to maintain our tax-exempt status. According to last year's 990 form, we awarded $30,000 in scholarships to 3 students. But the bank records show only $18,000 in scholarship payments that year. The remaining $12,000 went to Urban Youth Educational Initiative. I check the year before. Same pattern. And the year before that. I need to see the recipients for the past 3 years, I say. All scholarship winners. Gary slides a folder across the table. I open it and scan the names, matching them against the bank records. 2 of the 3 winners from 2 years ago never received their full scholarship amounts. The checks were issued according to Rebecca's records, but the bank statements show smaller actual payments. The difference, $7,000, went to Urban Youth Educational Initiative. I think about Destiny Williams working 20 hours a week at a grocery store, about Marcus Hill teaching himself calculus from library books, about qualified students denied opportunities while Rebecca diverted money to a fake charity. I need to make a call, I say, standing. Excuse me. I step into the hallway and dial Kevin's number. Hey man, you okay? His voice is cautious. I need you to do something for me. Can you find out who owns a business called Urban Youth Educational Initiative? Check everything. Business registrations, property records, social media. I need a name. What's this about? Rebecca's scholarship fund. I think she's been embezzling. Kevin goes quiet. Jesus. Okay, give me an hour. I hang up and return to the conference room. Patricia, Gary, and Joanne are huddled together, whispering. They stop when I enter. I think we need to pause the selection process, I say. There are some irregularities in the fund's finances that need to be addressed before we move forward. Patricia's face goes pale. What kind of irregularities? The kind that involve 6 figures being transferred to a non-existent organization. I close my laptop. I'm going to recommend we bring in an independent auditor. In the meantime, I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention this conversation to Rebecca. Dylan, this is serious. Gary's voice is sharp. If there's actual fraud, then we'll handle it appropriately. But I need to verify everything first. I gather my things and leave before they can ask more questions. In my car, I sit with the engine running, staring at the photos on my phone. Destiny Williams' essay, Marcus Hill's transcript. The bank records showing $147,000 diverted to nowhere. My phone buzzes. Kevin. Found your answer. Urban Youth Educational Initiative is registered to a Trevor Haynes, address in Northwest Portland. Want me to send you the details? Trevor. Jim. Trevor. The man Rebecca's been texting. The man she's meeting Thursday night. Send me everything, I say. My hands tighten on the steering wheel. Rebecca hasn't just been cheating on me. She's been stealing from students who needed that money to escape poverty, to build futures, to survive. She's been giving it to her lover instead. The scholarship award ceremony is scheduled for next Friday evening at the Portland Art Museum. 200 people, donors, board members, students and their families, local media. Rebecca will stand at the podium in one of her elegant dresses, smiling as she presents oversized checks to this year's winners. I'm going to be there too. And I'm going to ask her some questions. I spend the next 3 days building my case the way I'd build litigation strategy at work. Evidence first, emotions never. Wednesday morning, I'm at my desk downtown when I call the Oregon Department of Justice Charitable Activities section. The woman who answers has a pleasant voice that doesn't match what I'm about to report. I need to file a complaint about potential charitable fraud, I say. The Portland Community Foundation Scholarship Fund. She takes my information. I provide everything. The rejected applications, the financial transfers, Trevor Haynes' fake charity registration. She tells me an investigator will be in touch within 48 hours. We take these matters seriously, she says, especially when educational funds are involved. I hang up and stare at my computer screen. The email from Rebecca sits in my inbox, sent at 11:47 a.m. Don't forget Emma has soccer practice at 4:30. Can you pick her up? I have a client meeting. No client meeting. I checked her calendar yesterday while she was in the shower. Thursday afternoon is blocked as personal time. Trevor time. I delete the email without responding. Kevin calls at 2:15 p.m. I found more, he says. Trevor Haynes has a gambling problem. 3 liens filed against him in the past 2 years. Total debt around $90,000. The number makes my stomach drop. Rebecca's been funding her lover's gambling addiction with money meant for kids who can't afford college. There's something else, Kevin continues. I talked to a friend at the bank. Those transfers to the Urban Youth Educational Initiative, they're being withdrawn as cash within days. No actual charitable expenses, no program costs, just cash. Send me everything, I say. That night, Rebecca comes home at 6:45 p.m. with Thai takeout and a smile. She kisses Emma on the head, asks about her day at kindergarten, listens with apparent fascination to a story about finger painting. How was your day? She asks me, setting out plates. Fine, busy. The Thompson case still keeping you late? I haven't worked on the Thompson case in 3 weeks. She doesn't know because she doesn't actually care. Yeah, I say. Should wrap up soon. She nods, serves pad thai onto Emma's princess plate. The lies come so easily to both of us now. Thursday morning arrives with rain. I wake at 5:30 a.m., Rebecca still sleeping beside me, blonde hair spread across the pillow. In 12 hours, she'll bring Trevor into our home, into our bed. I get up, shower, dress for work. Rebecca's phone sits on her nightstand, charging. I could look again, find more evidence, but I don't need it. I have enough. At the office, I draft an email to Channel 8 News, their investigative reporting team. Subject line: Scholarship fraud affecting Portland students. I attach everything: the rejected applications, the financial records, Trevor Haynes's fake charity registration, the Department of Justice complaint number. I include my phone number and a note. The annual scholarship award ceremony is scheduled for Friday, March 15th at 7 p.m., Portland Community Foundation Building. The administrator will be present. Tomorrow. The ceremony is tomorrow. I hit send at 10:23 a.m. My phone rings 40 minutes later. Unknown number. This is Dylan Patterson. Mr. Patterson, this is Andrea Walsh from Channel 8 News. I received your email about the scholarship fund. Her voice is sharp, focused. I can hear typing in the background. Everything I sent is verified, I say. I have additional documentation if needed. We're going to need to move fast on this. Can you meet today? I'm available after 5 p.m. Our offices. Bring everything. I meet Andrea Walsh at 5:30 p.m. in a conference room that smells like coffee and printer toner. She's younger than I expected, maybe 30, with dark hair pulled back and a notepad covered in shorthand. This is significant, she says, spreading out the documents I brought. You're talking about over $140,000 in diverted funds. $147,000, I correct. And that's just what I found in 3 years of records. Could be more. She looks up at me. You understand this will be public. Your wife will face criminal charges. I understand. And you're the one bringing it forward. The students deserve better, I say. Destiny Williams. She had a 4.0 GPA and was rejected because Rebecca claimed her essay was insufficiently compelling. She's working 2 jobs now instead of attending Portland State. Andrea writes quickly. We'll need to verify everything independently, but if this holds up, we'll run it tomorrow, before the ceremony. During would be better, I say. She pauses, pen hovering. You want us at the ceremony? Rebecca will be there. She's presenting awards to students who were approved. I think they deserve to know why their classmates weren't. Andrea studies me for a long moment. This is personal for you. It's personal for every kid who got rejected while Rebecca funneled money to her boyfriend's gambling debts. We'll be there, she says, with cameras. I drive home through rush hour traffic, hands steady on the wheel. Rebecca's car is already in the driveway when I arrive at 6:45 p.m. She's in the kitchen, making dinner. Salmon and roasted vegetables. "Hey," she says, not looking up from the cutting board. "How was your day?" "Long? Yours?" "Same. Client meeting ran over." The lie doesn't even register on her face. She's had hours to shower away any evidence of Trevor, to compose herself, to slip back into the role of devoted wife. Emma runs in from the living room, iPad in hand. "Daddy, watch this video." I sit on the couch with her, watch some animated thing about talking animals, and try to memorize this moment. Tomorrow, everything changes. Rebecca serves dinner at 7:15 p.m. We eat as a family, Emma chattering about soccer practice, Rebecca asking questions about my work that she doesn't care about, me providing answers that don't matter. "The scholarship ceremony is tomorrow night," Rebecca says, refilling her water glass. "I'll need to leave work early to set up." "What time?" "Ceremony starts at 7. I should be there by 5:30. "I'll come," I say. She looks surprised. "Really? You've never come before?" "I want to support what you're doing, for the students." Her smile is warm, genuine seeming. "That would be wonderful. Emma can come too. She'd love to see the foundation building." "Actually, Kevin and Lisa offered to watch her. I already confirmed." Rebecca nods, takes a bite of salmon. "Perfect." We clean up together, load the dishwasher, wipe down counters. Domestic choreography we've performed 1,000 times. She goes upstairs to give Emma a bath. I hear them laughing, water splashing, Emma singing some song from school. At 8:30 p.m., I check my email. Andrea Walsh sent a message. "Story confirmed. Running tomorrow at 5 p.m. news. Camera crew will be at ceremony. Thank you for bringing this forward." I delete the email, clear my browser history, shut down my laptop. Rebecca comes downstairs at 9:00 p.m. in pajama pants and one of my old college t-shirts. She curls up on the couch beside me, rests her head on my shoulder while we watch some home renovation show neither of us cares about. "I'm glad you're coming tomorrow," she says during a commercial break. "It means a lot." "Of course," I say. She falls asleep there on the couch, breath evening out, body relaxed against mine. I could wake her, send her to bed, maintain the pretense. Instead, I sit there, watching her sleep, thinking about Destiny Williams working 2 jobs, about Trevor Haynes cashing checks meant for education at some casino, about all the careful lies Rebecca's constructed. At 10:30 p.m., I gently move her off my shoulder, watch her resettle into the couch cushions. I go upstairs, check on Emma, sleeping peacefully in her princess bed, then get ready for bed myself. Rebecca stumbles upstairs around 11 p.m., slides into bed beside me without fully waking. I lie there in the dark, listening to her breathe, counting down the hours until tomorrow night. My phone shows 11:47 p.m. when sleep finally comes. The alarm goes off at 6 a.m. Rebecca's hand shoots out from under the covers, silencing it with practiced efficiency. I'm already awake. I've been awake for 3 hours. She stretches, rolls toward me. Her hand finds my shoulder. "Morning. Morning. Big day today," she says. "I need to leave early. Final preparations for the ceremony." The ceremony. Where she'll present awards to students she actually deemed worthy. Where she'll give her speech about her grandmother's legacy and the importance of education. Where she'll smile for photos while qualified kids sit at home, rejected. "What time?" I ask. "I want to be at the venue by 4. Make sure everything's perfect." She sits up, blonde hair messy from sleep, You're still coming, right? You and Emma? Wouldn't miss it. She kisses my cheek, heads to the bathroom. I hear the shower start. My phone vibrates. Text from Andrea Walsh. Story locked for 5 p.m. broadcast. Camera crew confirmed for ceremony. Don't acknowledge us when you arrive. I delete the message. Emma wants pancakes. Rebecca makes them while I pack her lunch for school. Peanut butter sandwich, apple slices, the granola bars she likes. Normal Friday morning routine. Rebecca hums while she cooks, flipping pancakes with the spatula we bought at that kitchen store downtown 3 years ago. Mommy, are you giving out the scholarships tonight? Emma asks, syrup on her chin. That's right, sweetie. To students who work really hard in school. Like me? Rebecca laughs. Just like you. That's why it's important to always do your best. I wipe Emma's chin with a napkin. Meet Rebecca's eyes across the table. She smiles at me, warm, genuine, or perfectly performed. I can't tell anymore. I'm proud of what you've built with the fund, I say. Your grandmother would be too. Something flickers across her face, too quick to read. Thank you. That means a lot. She checks her watch. I need to get ready. Dylan, can you handle drop-off? Already planned on it. She kisses Emma's head, kisses my cheek again, disappears upstairs. I clear the breakfast dishes, load the dishwasher. Emma chatters about her friend Madison's birthday party next week. I make the appropriate responses. My hands don't shake. I drop Emma at school at 8:15. Watch her run to the playground where Madison waits. She doesn't look back. Why would she? It's just another Friday. At the office, I can't focus. I have a brief due Monday that needs another 10 hours of work. The words blur on my screen. I read the same paragraph 4 times. 11:23 a.m. Text from Rebecca. Florist delivered wrong color roses. Fixing it. Everything else on track. I don't respond. 12:47 p.m. Email from the Oregon Department of Justice, CC'd to Detective Sarah Reeves, Portland PD Financial Crimes Unit. Mr. Patterson, thank you for your cooperation. We've opened a formal investigation into the Patterson Family Scholarship Fund. Detective Reeves will contact you directly regarding next steps. Please do not discuss this matter with anyone involved in the fund's administration. So it's real now. Official. I forward the email to my personal account. Delete it from my work inbox. I leave the office at 3 p.m. Pick up Emma from her after-school program. She's wearing paint on her hands and a construction paper crown. We made art today. Look. She shows me a painting of what might be a house or possibly a spaceship. It's our family. 3 stick figures. 1 tall, 1 medium, 1 small, all holding hands. It's beautiful, I say. We'll put it on the fridge. Is Mommy already at the scholarship thing? Yeah, we'll meet her there. Can I wear my blue dress? Absolutely. At home, I help her into the dress. Navy blue with white flowers. She wore it to my mother's birthday dinner last month. I brush her hair, let her pick sparkly clips from her drawer. She examines herself in the bathroom mirror, serious. Do I look fancy? Very fancy. Good. Mommy says we have to look nice for important things. I kneel down. Eye level with her. Emma, no matter what happens tonight, I need you to know something. Mommy and I both love you very much, okay? She wrinkles her nose. I know that, Daddy. You're being weird. Just making sure. I change into the suit I wore to court last week. Charcoal gray, white shirt. The tie Rebecca bought me for Christmas. She said it brought out my eyes. We leave at 5:30. The venue is 20 minutes away, the Riverside Community Center, where Rebecca has held the ceremony for the past 3 years. Emma plays a game on my phone in her car seat. I drive carefully, under the speed limit, signal every turn. The 5-hour news is over. Andrea Walsh's story has aired. I didn't watch it, didn't need to. I know what evidence I provided: bank statements, emails, the list of rejected students, Trevor Haynes's gambling debts, the fake charity registration. By now, hundreds of people know, maybe thousands. Rebecca doesn't. Not yet. The parking lot is half full when we arrive at 6:45. I recognize cars belonging to board members, donors, past scholarship recipients. The Channel 8 news van is parked at the far end. Unmarked, but I know they're vehicles from covering courthouse stories. Emma holds my hand as we walk to the entrance. Inside, the community center has been transformed. White tablecloths on round tables. Centerpieces of roses, the correct color now, apparently. A small stage at the front with a podium and microphone. Professional lighting. Rebecca stands near the stage talking to Helen Ortega, the board president. She's wearing a black dress I haven't seen before, hair in a low bun, pearl earrings. She looks elegant, composed, like someone who genuinely cares about education and opportunity. She sees us. Her face lights up. She excuses herself from Helen, crosses the room. "There you are," she hugs Emma, then kisses my cheek. "You look handsome." "You look beautiful." "I'm so nervous. Is that silly? I've done this 3 times now." "You'll be great," I say. Emma tugs Rebecca's hand. "Mommy, can I see the scholarships?" "They're certificates, sweetie. You'll see them when I give them out." She glances at her watch. 20 minutes. I should check on the sound system one more time. She squeezes my hand. Hurries back toward the stage. I scan the room. Approximately 60 people. Students in suits and dresses, nervous excitement on their faces, parents with cameras, board members, donors who contributed to the fund over the years, thinking they were helping deserving kids. Near the back entrance, I spot Andrea Walsh. Jeans and a blazer. No camera visible, but her videographer stands nearby, equipment bag at his feet. She catches my eye, barely nods. I find our assigned seats. Table 3, near the front. Emma swings her legs, too short to reach the floor. She examines the program printed on cream cardstock. "Daddy, there's 5 students getting scholarships." "That's right. That's not very many." "No," I say. "It's not." The lights dim slightly, conversations quiet. Rebecca takes the stage, adjusting the microphone. She looks calm, professional, in control. "Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here." Her voice carries clearly through the speakers. 3 years ago, I established the Patterson Family Scholarship Fund in memory of my grandmother, Eleanor Patterson, who believed that education was the foundation of opportunity. I've heard this speech before. Different words, same message. She talks about her grandmother's struggles, her determination to see her children educated, the importance of giving back, the careful selection process that ensures scholarships go to students who will make the most of the opportunity. Emma leans against my arm. I put my hand on her shoulder. Rebecca introduces the board members. Thanks the donors. Builds to the main event, announcing this year's recipients. Our first scholarship recipient is Tyler Jackson, who will be attending Oregon State University. Tyler stands. Applause. He walks to the stage. Rebecca hands him a certificate, poses for photos. Beaming smile. Proud moment. 4 more students. 4 more presentations. More applause. More photos. The ceremony is running perfectly. Exactly as Rebecca planned. She returns to the podium for closing remarks. These 5 students represent the best of what this community. The back doors open. 2 people enter. Man and woman. Professional clothing. The woman carries a badge on her belt. Detective Reeves, I assume. The man is older, gray hair. They don't sit. They stand near the back wall. Rebecca falters. Barely. Recovers. The best of what this community has to offer. Their hard work and dedication. Her phone buzzes on the podium. She ignores it. It buzzes again. And again. Helen Ortega's phone lights up at her table. Then another board member's. And another. People are checking their phones now, whispering. The energy in the room shifts. Rebecca's smile stays fixed. I'm honored to support their educational journeys, and I know my grandmother would be. Mrs. Patterson. The detective's voice cuts through the room. She's walking forward now. I'm Detective Amy Reeves with the Portland Police Department. I need to speak with you. The room goes silent. Rebecca's face drains of color. I'm in the middle of... Now, please. I stand up. Every head turns toward me. Before you take her, I say, voice steady, I think everyone here deserves to know why qualified students like Destiny Williams and James Cooper were denied scholarships while money went to a fake charity. Rebecca's eyes find mine across the room. She knows. The room erupts. Rebecca's face drains of color as Detective Reeves approaches the stage. For the first time since I've known her, she looks genuinely afraid. Not the calculated concern she showed when Emma fell off the swing last summer. Not the performative worry when her mother was sick. This is raw, animal fear. Ms. Patterson, I need you to come with me, Reeves says, his voice cutting through the chaos. He's flanked by two uniformed officers I hadn't noticed enter through the back. Board Chair Margaret Whitmore stands abruptly, her water glass toppling. What is the meaning of this? This is a private ceremony. Ma'am, we have a warrant for Ms. Patterson's arrest on charges of embezzlement and wire fraud. Reeves holds up a folded document. She can come voluntarily, or we can make this more difficult. Rebecca's eyes find mine across the room. She's still standing at the podium, one hand gripping the edge like it's the only thing keeping her upright. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. Dylan. Her voice is barely audible. Dylan, please. I don't move. Don't speak. Just watch as everything she built crumbles. Jennifer Kim from Channel 8 has her camera operator recording every second. The red light blinks steadily, capturing Rebecca's destruction in high definition for the 6 o'clock news. I need to call my lawyer, Rebecca says, finally finding some composure. Her attorney voice, the one she uses in court. I'm entitled to legal representation. You can call from the station. Reeves gestures to the steps leading down from the stage. Let's not make a scene in front of these young people. But it's already a scene. The scholarship recipients, 4 students who did receive awards this year, sit frozen in their chairs. Parents whisper frantically. Board members cluster together like they're trying to understand a language they don't speak. Margaret Whitmore turns to me. Mr. Patterson, did you know about this? Did you orchestrate this ambush? I orchestrated nothing, I say quietly. I discovered fraud and reported it to the appropriate authorities. What they chose to do with that information was their decision. You could have come to the board privately. The board had 3 years to notice that qualified students were being rejected while money disappeared into a fake charity. I meet her eyes. I have emails showing I tried to volunteer for the scholarship committee last year. Rebecca told me the board preferred to keep it small. Family only. Margaret's face flushes. She knows what that means. She knows they failed in their oversight. Rebecca descends from the stage, moving like she's walking through water. The officers don't handcuff her, not yet, but they position themselves on either side. Professional. Efficient. As she passes my table, she stops. "You're destroying our daughter's life," she whispers. "You know that, right? Emma will see this. Everyone will know. Emma will know her mother is a thief who stole from students who needed help." My voice is steady. "She'll know her mother chose her lover over children trying to escape poverty." Rebecca flinches like I've slapped her. "I never meant. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Trevor said he could invest the money, double it, give even more scholarships." "Don't," I cut her off. "Don't insult me with lies. Not now. Trevor has $89,000 in gambling debts. The investment was feeding slot machines and poker tables." Her eyes widen. She didn't know I knew about Trevor's debts. Didn't know how deep I'd dug. "We need to go, Miss Patterson." Reeves's hand hovers near her elbow, not touching but guiding. Rebecca looks at me one more time. "I loved you. I do love you." "No," I say. "You loved what I provided. Stability. Respectability. A nice house and a good school district. You loved the version of yourself you could be with me." I pause. "But you were never actually that person." They lead her out through the main entrance. Camera flashes pop like small explosions. Jennifer Kim is already on her phone, probably calling the station. This will be breaking news within the hour. The room stays silent for a long moment after the doors close. Then Margaret Whitmore clears her throat. I think we should postpone the remainder of the ceremony, given the circumstances." "No." The voice comes from the back of the room. I turn. A young woman stands, maybe 19 or 20. Black, wearing a simple blue dress that's probably the nicest thing she owns. She's holding a folder. "I'm Destiny Williams," she says. "I applied for the Patterson Memorial Scholarship 2 years ago. I had a 4.0 GPA. I was working 2 jobs while taking care of my younger siblings. I wrote about wanting to be a teacher so I could help kids like me." Margaret looks uncomfortable. "Miss Williams, this isn't the appropriate time. I was rejected." Destiny's voice gets stronger. "The rejection letter said my essay lacked personal insight and my extracurriculars were insufficient. But I know now that was a lie, because the money that should have gone to students like me went to some guy's gambling problem." She walks forward, holding up her folder. "I brought my application. I brought my rejection letter. I brought my transcript showing I graduated high school with a 4.2 GPA despite everything. I'm at Portland Community College now, working full-time at Target and taking classes part-time because that's all I can afford." Other people are standing now. A young man with glasses. An older woman who might be someone's mother. A middle-aged man in a suit who I recognize as David Park, one of the board members who actually showed up to meetings. "This is a disaster," Margaret mutters. "An absolute disaster." "No," David Park says. "This is an opportunity to make things right." He looks at Destiny. "Miss Williams, would you be willing to share your application materials with the board? We need to review every rejection from the past 3 years. Every student who should have received funding." "It's too late for me," Destiny says. "I'm already 2 years behind where I should be. But there are others. There are students who gave up on college entirely because they couldn't afford it." "We'll establish an emergency fund," David says, looking at the other board members. "We'll contact every rejected applicant. We'll make this right." Margaret shakes her head. "We don't have the resources to—" "Then we'll find them." David's voice is firm. "We'll fundraise. We'll reach out to donors. We'll do whatever it takes. Because if we don't, we're complicit in what Rebecca Patterson did. Jennifer Kim is recording all of this. The scholarship recipients look shell-shocked. One of them, a girl who can't be more than 17, is crying quietly. I stand. Every eye in the room turns to me. I'll make the first donation, I say. $50,000 to the emergency fund, to be distributed to previously rejected qualified applicants, starting with Destiny Williams. Margaret's mouth falls open. Mr. Patterson, you don't have to. Yes, I do. I pull out my phone, open my banking app. I'll transfer it today, and I'll match any donations made in the next 30 days, up to another $50,000. It's money from our joint savings. Money Rebecca and I accumulated together. Money that was supposed to go toward Emma's college fund or a bigger house or retirement. But Emma will have a college fund. I'll make sure of that. And she'll have something more important. The knowledge that when her father discovered wrongdoing, he tried to fix it. Destiny Williams is staring at me, tears streaming down her face. Why would you do that? After what your wife did? Because you earned it, I say simply. You did everything right. You worked hard. You deserved that scholarship 2 years ago, and you deserve it now. David Park is already pulling out his phone. I'll donate $25,000, and I'll resign from the board effective immediately so we can bring in members who will actually provide oversight. Another board member stands, then another. Pledges start flying. 10,000, 5,000, 1,000. Margaret Whitmore looks like she wants to disappear into the floor. Jennifer Kim catches my eye and mouths, "Thank you." This is the story now. Not just the fraud, but the response. The community coming together. It's better television and better journalism. I check my watch. 7:43 p.m. Rebecca is probably at the police station by now, making her phone call, probably calling Mitchell and Associates, the firm that handles white-collar criminal defense. They're expensive but good. My phone buzzes. Kevin. Just saw the news. Holy shit. You okay? I type back. Fine. Can you keep Emma tonight? This is gonna get messy. Already planned on it. Lisa's making pancakes for breakfast. Emma's good. Thank you. I look around the room, at Destiny Williams, still crying. At the board members scrambling to contain the damage. At the scholarship recipients who won their awards legitimately, but will always wonder if people doubt them. At the empty podium where my wife stood 15 minutes ago, about to accept praise for her grandmother's legacy while the police waited to arrest her. This isn't over. There will be arraignment, bail hearings, probably a trial. There will be lawyers and depositions and forensic accountants. There will be divorce proceedings and custody battles and the division of assets. But right now, in this moment, I did what I came here to do. I exposed the truth. And maybe, just maybe, some deserving students will get the opportunities they should have had all along. The conference room at Whitman and Associates smells like stale coffee and desperation. 3 days after the ceremony, I'm sitting across from Alan Whitman himself, senior partner, divorce specialist, the guy Rebecca's colleagues used to joke about over drinks. Never want to face him in court, she'd said once, laughing into her wine glass. Now he's mine. The criminal charges complicate things, Alan says, spreading documents across the mahogany table. He's 60-something, gray hair cut military short, reading glasses perched on his nose. Oregon's a no-fault state, but the embezzlement gives us leverage on asset division and custody. I watch him work through the paperwork. My paperwork. Evidence I compiled at 4 a.m. while Rebecca slept 15 feet away. She made bail? I ask. Posted yesterday afternoon. Her parents put up their house. Alan flips through bank statements. She's staying with them in Lake Oswego. Arraignment scheduled for next Wednesday. My phone buzzes. Kevin. Lisa says Rebecca's mom called, asking about Emma. Wants grandmother's rights. I show Alan the text. Expected, he says. Document everything. Every call, every request, every interaction. Oregon courts favor maternal custody, but felony charges shift that equation. She stole from kids. The words taste bitter. Kids who needed that money. The DA's building a strong case. Wire fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy if they can prove Trevor Haynes was involved from the start. Alan removes his glasses, meets my eyes. But Dylan, you need to understand. Criminal trial could take 18 months. Divorce moves faster. We file today. Push for temporary custody. Freeze joint assets. Do it. He slides papers toward me. Petition for dissolution of marriage. My hand hovers over the signature line. There's something else, Alan says. The scholarship fund. You pledged $50,000 at the ceremony. I did. Noble gesture, but you don't have $50,000 in liquid assets, not without touching retirement accounts or taking penalties. I'd known that when I said it. Standing at that podium, watching Destiny Williams cry, I'd needed to offer something real. Something that mattered. I'll figure it out. Your salary's solid. We can structure payments, set up a proper fund with oversight. But Dylan, he leans forward. Don't bankrupt yourself trying to fix what she broke. The students, the community, that's not your responsibility. Someone has to make it right. The state will recover what they can. Restitution's part of sentencing. After how long? After how many appeals? I sign the divorce petition, the pen scratching across expensive paper. Those kids need help now. Fall semester starts in 3 months. Alan watches me for a long moment, then nods. I'll connect you with a nonprofit attorney. Set it up properly, tax-deductible, transparent accounting. You want to do this? Do it right. Emma's with Kevin and Lisa when I get home. The house feels wrong without her. Too quiet, too empty. I'd packed her a bag Tuesday morning, told her she was having a sleepover with her cousins. She'd been excited, chattering about Lisa's new puppy. I haven't told her yet. Haven't explained why Mommy isn't here, why we're not all going home together. The home office still smells faintly of Rebecca's perfume. I open windows, let October air sweep through. My laptop sits where I left it, browser tabs still open. Bank statements, email threads. The digital evidence of 18 months of theft. My phone rings. Unknown number. Mr. Patterson? This is Janet Reeves from Channel 8. We spoke at the ceremony. The reporter. Mid-40s, sharp eyes. The one who'd shoved a microphone in my face while Rebecca was being led away in handcuffs. I don't have a statement, I say. I'm not looking for one. I'm calling about the scholarship situation. Papers rustle on her end. We've been digging into the Patterson family scholarship fund. Your wife wasn't the original administrator. I sit down slowly. Her grandmother established it. Rebecca took over after she died. 4 years ago. And for the first year, everything was legitimate. Qualified students received funding, proper documentation, clean audits. Janet pauses. Then Trevor Haynes appears in her life and suddenly the rejection rate triples. You're working on a story. Already aired the initial coverage, but there's more here. We found 5 other students besides Destiny Williams and the others you mentioned. all rejected in the past 18 months, all qualified, all low income. Five more kids who should have had a chance. One of them, Janet continues, is a young woman named Kayla Brooks, single mother, 3.8 GPA at Portland Community College, working overnight shifts at a nursing home. She applied for the scholarship to transfer to Portland State, finish her nursing degree. Rebecca rejected her application, citing insufficient community involvement, while giving money to a fake charity. Exactly. Kayla's willing to talk on camera. So are three others. They want people to know what happened, what was taken from them. I walk to the window. The vegetable garden Rebecca planted looks neglected already. Tomatoes splitting on the vine, weeds creeping through the lettuce. What do you need from me? Context, background. You established the emergency fund at the ceremony. We'd like to feature that. Show there's accountability, that someone's trying to make it right. She hesitates. And honestly, your wife's attorney is already spinning this, saying she was manipulated, that Trevor Haynes took advantage of her, that she's a victim too. My jaw clenches. She's not the victim. Then help me tell the real story. These students deserve that. The interview happens Friday afternoon in my living room. Janet brings a cameraman and a producer, asks me to sit on the couch where Rebecca and I used to watch movies after Emma went to bed. Just tell me what happened, Janet says, camera rolling. When did you first suspect something was wrong? I walk her through it. The late-night discovery, the financial records, the pattern of rejections. I don't mention the affair. That's personal, separate, not relevant to the scholarship fraud. You reported this to authorities before confronting your wife, Janet says. Why? Because I knew she'd have explanations, justifications. She's a lawyer. She's trained to argue, to deflect. I look directly at the camera. And because this wasn't about our marriage, it was about students who trusted that fund, who believed they had a fair chance. You've pledged $50,000 to help the wrongfully rejected applicants. That's a significant amount. It's not enough. It doesn't replace what was stolen, doesn't undo the damage. But it's something. I pause. And I'm asking the community to help. The Patterson Family Scholarship Fund is being restructured with proper oversight, transparent accounting, independent auditors. Anyone who wants to contribute to helping these students can contact the Oregon Community Foundation. Janet leans forward. Your wife's attorney claims she was manipulated by Trevor Haynes, that she believed the money was being invested legitimately. What's your response? Rebecca reviewed financial statements every quarter. She saw exactly where the money went. She wrote the rejection letters herself. I found drafts on her laptop. My voice stays level, controlled. She made choices. Those choices hurt people who couldn't afford to be hurt. The segment airs Sunday evening. I watch it at Kevin's house while Emma colors at the kitchen table, blissfully unaware. They interview Kayla Brooks first. 26 years old, exhausted eyes, scrubs from her nursing home shift. She talks about working doubles, studying between patient rounds, believing the scholarship would change her life. I wrote that application 3 times, Kayla says, voice shaking. Made sure every word was perfect. And they rejected me for not doing enough community service. But I'm keeping people alive. I'm changing bedpans and monitoring vitals and holding hands when patients are scared. That's not community service? Then Destiny Williams appears, the young woman from the ceremony. She's composed now, articulate. Mrs. Patterson looked me in the eye at a community event and told me to apply. Said I was exactly the kind of student the fund supported. Destiny's hands clasped together. I trusted her. We all did. The segment shows footage from the ceremony. Rebecca being arrested. My speech at the podium. The donations starting to flow. Then my interview. I barely recognize myself on screen. Thinner than I remember. Shadows under my eyes, but calm. Controlled. The students deserve better, my televised self says. They deserved honesty. They deserved a fair chance. And they're going to get it. Janet's voiceover closes the segment. The restructured Patterson Family Scholarship Fund has already received over $30,000 in community donations. The Oregon Department of Justice continues its investigation into where the embezzled funds ultimately went. Rebecca Patterson faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Trevor Haynes remains under investigation. For Channel 8 News, I'm Janet Reeves. My phone explodes with texts. Former colleagues, college friends, people I haven't spoken to in years. Kevin hands me a beer. You did good. I exposed my wife on television. You told the truth. There's a difference. He sits across from me. Lisa talked to Rebecca's mom today. She's furious, calling you vindictive, saying you're destroying Rebecca's life for revenge. I'm protecting students from fraud. I know that. You know that. Kevin glances toward the kitchen, where Emma's singing to herself. But this is going to get uglier before it gets better. Rebecca's family, mutual friends, people are going to take sides. Let them. My phone buzzes again. Alan Whitman. Saw the interview. Rebecca's attorney will use it against you. Claim you're poisoning public opinion before trial. Be careful. I type back. Noted. Emma appears in the doorway, clutching a drawing. Daddy, look. It's our family. 3 stick figures. 1 tall, 1 medium, 1 small. All holding hands under a smiling sun. No 4th figure. She hasn't asked about Rebecca in 2 days. I pull her onto my lap, study her artwork. It's beautiful, sweetheart. Can we go home soon? I miss my room. Tomorrow, I promise. We'll go home tomorrow. She nods, satisfied, and runs back to her coloring. Kevin watches me. You okay? The question lands heavier than it should. Am I okay? My wife's facing felony charges. My daughter doesn't understand why her mother disappeared. I just went on television and detailed my spouse's crimes to thousands of viewers. But Kayla Brooks might finish her nursing degree now. Destiny Williams has a chance at college. 5 other students I've never met might get the opportunities Rebecca stole. I will be, I say, and for the first time since 2:47 a.m. Tuesday morning, I almost believe it. The voicemail notification lights up my phone at 9:47 p.m., 3 days after Rebecca's arrest. I'm sitting in Emma's room, watching her sleep in the princess bed that suddenly feels like evidence of everything Rebecca performed instead of lived. Mr. Patterson, this is Detective Angela Morris with the Financial Crimes Unit. We need to discuss some developments in your wife's case. Please call me back at your earliest convenience. Her voice carries that careful neutrality cops use when the news could go either way. I step into the hallway, close Emma's door, and return the call. Mr. Patterson, Morris answers on the first ring. Thank you for calling back. I wanted to update you before you hear it elsewhere. We executed a search warrant on Trevor Haynes' residence this afternoon. My stomach tightens. And? We found documentation indicating the fraud goes back further than the 3 years you provided. Significantly further. She pauses. How long has your wife been managing the scholarship fund? 7 years, since we got married. That's what we thought. Mr. Patterson, we found bank statements and correspondence suggesting the Urban Youth Educational Initiative has been receiving transfers for at least 5 years. We're still analyzing the full scope, but preliminary numbers put the total embezzlement closer to $240,000. I lean against the wall. The entire initial fund. Every dollar her grandmother left. There's more, Morris continues. Haynes kept records, detailed records, text messages, emails, even handwritten notes about how to structure the fake charity to avoid scrutiny. Your wife wasn't just diverting funds to help her boyfriend pay gambling debts. She was actively coaching him on how to launder the money. She what? There are emails from her personal account explaining how to create false receipts, how to structure withdrawals to stay under reporting thresholds, how to create a paper trail that would pass a casual audit. This wasn't opportunistic theft, Mr. Patterson. This was sophisticated financial fraud with your wife as the architect. I close my eyes. Rebecca, the attorney, using her legal knowledge to steal from students who'd never have the resources to fight back. Haynes is cooperating fully, Morris says. He's provided everything in exchange for a plea deal. The prosecutor wants to meet with you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Can you make that? I'll be there. One more thing. We contacted the families of the rejected applicants you identified. Several want to pursue civil suits against your wife and the fund. You should be aware that as the fund's co-trustee, I could be named as a defendant. Yes, even though you weren't aware of the fraud, your attorney should prepare for that possibility. After we hang up, I stand in the dark hallway for a long time. The house makes its settling noises around me. Somewhere outside, a dog barks. Normal sounds in a life that stopped being normal the moment I saw that screenshot. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. This is Destiny Williams' mother. Detective Morris gave me your number. I wanted to thank you for what you did at the ceremony. Destiny got accepted to Portland State with the emergency funding you helped arrange. She starts in January. I stare at the message. One student. One life Rebecca didn't manage to destroy. I'm glad she'll get her chance. She earned it. The response comes quickly. We're going to sue. Our lawyer says we have a strong case. I wanted you to know. I don't want to hurt you, but my daughter lost 2 years because of what your wife did. 2 years of community college instead of university because we couldn't afford tuition without that scholarship. I understand. Do what you need to do. Because I do understand. Rebecca stole more than money. She stole time, opportunities, futures. The fact that I'm collateral damage in the lawsuits doesn't change what she deserves. The prosecutor's office occupies the 5th floor of the Multnomah County Courthouse. Assistant District Attorney James Walsh meets me in a conference room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. He's younger than I expected, maybe 40, with the tired eyes of someone who sees the worst of people for a living. Mr. Patterson, thank you for coming. He gestures to a chair across from a table covered in file folders. I wanted to walk you through where we are with the case against your wife. Detective Morris said the fraud goes back 5 years. At least. We're still reconstructing the full timeline, but based on Haynes's records and the bank statements we've subpoenaed, your wife has been systematically embezzling from the scholarship fund since approximately 6 months after she took over as administrator. Walsh opens one of the folders. The total is now estimated at $247,000. More than the initial fund. Which means Rebecca must have been stealing from the annual donations too. The contributions from her parents, from family friends, from community members who believed in her grandmother's legacy. Haynes is testifying against her? I ask. Fully cooperating. He's pleading guilty to money laundering and receiving stolen property in exchange for his testimony. He'll likely serve 18 months, maybe less with good behavior. Walsh's expression hardens. Your wife, however, is facing multiple felony counts: wire fraud, embezzlement, money laundering, filing false documents with the state. We're looking at a recommended sentence of 12 to 15 years. The number hangs in the air. Emma will be 20 when Rebecca gets out, if she gets out in 12 years. There's something else you should know, Walsh continues. We've been investigating the timeline of her relationship with Haynes. Based on their communications, the affair started approximately 6 months before the embezzlement began. So she met him, started sleeping with him, then decided to steal scholarship money to fund his gambling addiction. It appears that way, though Haynes claims the embezzlement was entirely your wife's idea. He says she approached him with the scheme, set up the fake charity, and managed all the financial transfers. He just provided the bank account and cashed the checks. I lean back in my chair. You believe him? The evidence supports his version. Your wife's emails show her explaining the entire operation. She knew exactly what she was doing and how to avoid detection. Walsh pulls out a printed email, slides it across the table. This is from her personal account to Haynes, dated April 2019. I read it. Rebecca's words, explaining how to structure the charity paperwork, which forms to file with the state, how to create a website that would look legitimate to anyone who bothered to check. Clinical, detailed, methodical. She used her legal training to commit fraud, I say quietly. Yes, which is why the Oregon State Bar is also investigating. She'll likely be disbarred regardless of the criminal outcome. I push the email back across the table. What do you need from me? Your testimony at trial. You discovered the fraud. You have intimate knowledge of how the scholarship fund was supposed to operate, and you can speak to her behavior and state of mind during the period of the embezzlement. Walsh pauses. I know this is difficult. Testifying against your wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, and I'll testify. Those students deserved better. Her grandmother deserved better. Walsh nods. There's one complication. Your wife's attorney has indicated she may try to argue that you were complicit in the fraud, that as co-trustee, you must have known what was happening. My hands go cold. That's absurd. I had no access to the fund's accounts. She handled everything. We know that. The evidence clearly shows you weren't involved. But her attorney will try to create reasonable doubt by suggesting you're only cooperating now to save yourself. You should be prepared for that line of attack. Let them try. The financial records speak for themselves. They do. But trials aren't just about evidence. They're about narratives. Walsh closes the folder. Your wife's attorney will paint her as a devoted mother and community servant who made mistakes. They'll argue for leniency, for probation instead of prison time. They'll say she's already lost everything: her marriage, her career, her reputation. She stole $250,000 from students who couldn't fight back. She looked families in the eye and lied about why their children didn't qualify for scholarships her grandmother created to help them. She doesn't deserve leniency. I agree. But you need to understand what's coming. This trial will be public. Every detail of your marriage, your finances, your personal life will be examined. The defense will try to make you look like a vindictive husband, using the legal system to punish his unfaithful wife. I meet Walsh's eyes. I can handle it. Can your daughter? Because the media coverage will be extensive. Other children will hear about it. Emma will eventually understand what her mother did. She'll understand that actions have consequences, that stealing is wrong, that her mother made choices and has to face the results of those choices. I stand. When's the trial? Preliminary hearing is in 3 weeks. Trial likely won't start until March or April. These things take time. I'll be ready. Rebecca's parents are waiting in my driveway when I get home. Gerald and Patricia Mitchell, sitting in their silver Lexus like they have every right to be there. I park behind them, blocking them in. Patricia gets out first. She's wearing what she probably thinks of as casual clothes, designer jeans and a cashmere sweater that costs more than most people's monthly rent. Her face is carefully composed, but I can see the anger underneath. Dylan, we need to talk. No, we don't. Gerald joins her, hands in his pockets. He's a retired investment banker who still dresses like he's going to the office. You're destroying our daughter's life. Your daughter destroyed her own life. I just made sure she faced consequences. By having her arrested at a public event, Patricia's voice rises. In front of the entire community, you humiliated her. She humiliated herself. I just documented it. We want to see Emma, Gerald says. We haven't seen our granddaughter in 3 days. Emma's asleep, and you can see her during Rebecca's supervised visitation if the court allows it. Patricia steps closer. You can't keep us from our granddaughter. I'm not, but you don't get to show up at my house unannounced and demand access. You want visitation? Have your attorney contact mine. This is ridiculous, Gerald says. Rebecca made mistakes, yes. But you're acting like she's some kind of monster. She's still Emma's mother. She's a felon. She stole from children. To help someone she cared about. To fund her boyfriend's gambling addiction while rejecting students who actually qualified for help. I keep my voice level. Students like Destiny Williams, who had a perfect GPA and got rejected because your daughter wanted to bankroll her affair. Patricia's face flushes. You don't understand the pressure Rebecca was under. Managing the fund, working full-time, raising Emma. Plenty of people have pressure. They don't commit felony fraud. We're prepared to fight you for custody, Gerald says quietly. We have resources. Good attorneys. We can prove Emma would be better off with her mother. Her mother who's facing 15 years in prison? Good luck with that argument. I walk past them toward my front door. Patricia grabs my arm. Please, she's our daughter, our only child. Don't do this. I look at her hand on my arm until she releases it. Your daughter had choices. She chose to steal. She chose to lie. She chose to destroy something her own grandmother built to help students who needed it. I didn't make those choices. She did. We'll pay restitution, Gerald says. Every dollar. We'll make the students whole. Just don't testify against her. Please. The prosecutor doesn't need my testimony to convict her. Trevor Haynes is cooperating. The financial records are clear. Your money won't change the evidence. But your testimony will influence the sentencing, Patricia says. The judge will listen to you. If you ask for leniency, I won't. Think about Emma, Gerald says. Think about what it will do to her, growing up knowing her father put her mother in prison. Emma will grow up knowing her mother chose to commit crimes. That's on Rebecca, not me. I unlock my door and step inside, closing it before they can follow. Through the window, I watch them stand in my driveway for a long moment before getting back in their Lexus and driving away. My phone buzzes. A text from my attorney, David. Mitchell family attorney just contacted me. They're threatening custody action. We need to meet tomorrow. I type back, they won't win. Rebecca's about to be convicted of multiple felonies. Agreed, but they'll make it expensive and ugly. Be prepared. I'm always prepared. That's what Rebecca never understood. She thought I was too focused on work, too distracted by cases and deadlines to notice what was happening in my own house. She was wrong. The courtroom feels smaller than it did during the trial. Maybe because there are fewer people now. Just me, the prosecutor, Rebecca's parents in the back row, and the handful of reporters who followed this case for 8 months. Rebecca sits at the defense table in a gray suit I don't recognize. Her hair is shorter than she used to wear it, pulled back in a simple ponytail. She's lost weight. She doesn't look at me when I enter. Judge Catherine Perez, I know, common name, reviews the sentencing documents. The jury convicted Rebecca on all counts 3 weeks ago. 12 to 15 years, Walsh had predicted. Today, we find out if he was right. Does the defendant wish to make a statement? Judge Perez asks. Rebecca stands. Her voice is steady, practiced. The attorney voice. Your Honor, I take full responsibility for my actions. I betrayed the trust of students who deserved better. I dishonored my grandmother's memory. I hurt my family. She pauses. I can't undo what I've done, but I hope to spend the rest of my life making amends. She sits. Her attorney nods approvingly. It's a good statement, contrite without being pathetic, acknowledging harm without making excuses. Judge Perez turns to me. Mr. Patterson, you submitted a victim impact statement. Would you like to add anything? I stand. Rebecca's eyes finally find mine. The real victims aren't in this courtroom, I say. Destiny Williams lost 2 years of education. Kayla Brooks is still working overnight shifts instead of finishing her nursing degree. There are others, students who gave up on college entirely because they couldn't afford it without the scholarship they qualified for. I pull out a folder. I've been working with the restructured Patterson Family Scholarship Fund. We've identified 23 qualified applicants who were rejected over the past 5 years while money went to the defendant's fake charity. 23 futures derailed. Some of them have recovered. We've helped where we can, but some gave up. Got married young, took jobs they'll probably work for the rest of their lives, abandoned dreams they'd worked years to achieve. Rebecca's face is pale. My daughter asks about her mother, I continue. She's 6 now. Old enough to understand that mommy did something wrong, not old enough to understand the full scope. Eventually, she'll know everything. She'll read the trial transcripts, see the news coverage, understand exactly what her mother chose to do. I close the folder. I don't want vengeance, Your Honor. I want accountability. These students deserved honesty. They deserved the opportunity Rebecca's grandmother wanted them to have. They deserved better than being sacrificed to fund an affair. Judge Perez nods. Thank you, Mr. Patterson. The sentencing takes less than 5 minutes. 12 years in federal prison. Restitution of $247,000. Permanent disbarment from practicing law in Oregon. Rebecca doesn't cry. Just nods when the judge asks if she understands the sentence. Her parents leave before I do, Patricia's face streaked with tears, Gerald's arm around her shoulders. Outside the courthouse, Destiny Williams is waiting. She's wearing a Portland State hoodie. She started classes last month. Thank you, she says simply. You earned it. I just helped fix what was broken. Still, she shifts her backpack. I'm studying education, going to be a teacher, high school counselor maybe, help kids like me navigate college applications. You'll be good at it, She walks away, and I stand on the courthouse steps watching the city move around me. 8 months since that screenshot lit up my phone at 2:47 a.m. 8 months of investigations, depositions, trials, rebuilding. The restructured scholarship fund has raised over $300,000. We've awarded emergency scholarships to 18 of the 23 students Rebecca rejected. The other 5 moved on, got married, joined the military, found different paths. We offered help. They chose their own futures. Emma's in first grade now. She sees Rebecca once a month in supervised visitation at the county facility. They color together, read books, talk about school. Rebecca doesn't get to explain herself, doesn't get to rewrite history. Just gets 90 minutes every 4 weeks to be a mother to the daughter she'll miss growing up. The divorce finalized in June. I kept the house, the retirement accounts, primary custody. Rebecca kept her legal debts and her prison sentence. Her parents paid the restitution. Gerald liquidated investments. Patricia sold jewelry. They're still not speaking to me. That's fine. Kevin texts, Emma wants to know if she can have pizza for dinner. I type back, only if there's vegetables too. She says, carrots count. Carrots count. I drive to Kevin and Lisa's house where Emma's been staying after school while I work. She runs out when I pull up, backpack bouncing, gap-toothed smile wide. Daddy, we're learning multiplication. Already? You're in first grade. Ms. Johnson says I'm ready for second grade math. She climbs into her car seat, still chattering. Can we get the pizza with olives? I like olives now. Since when? Since today. Madison brought them in her lunch and I tried one and they're good. We drive home through Portland traffic. Emma talks about school, about the book she's reading, about how her friend Tyler's parents are getting divorced too, and it's not a big deal. Lots of kids have divorced parents. Is it hard? I ask. Having divorced parents? She thinks about it. Sometimes. I miss Mommy. But you're here every day. And Mommy made bad choices, right? That's what you said. That's right. So she has to have consequences, like when I drew on the wall and couldn't watch TV for a week. Sort of like that. Except longer. Much longer. She accepts this and returns to talking about multiplication tables. We stop for pizza with olives and eat it at our kitchen table while she shows me her homework. Math problems she solves faster than I can check them. A drawing of our family. 2 stick figures now, one tall and one small, holding hands under a smiling sun. After dinner, we read together on the couch. Chapter books now. She's reading above grade level, the teacher says. Probably inherited Rebecca's intelligence. Hopefully not her choices. At bedtime, Emma brushes her teeth, puts on princess pajamas, climbs into bed with her favorite stuffed elephant. Daddy, are you sad about Mommy? I sit on the edge of her bed. Sometimes. We were together a long time. But she did bad things. She did. And you had to tell the truth about it. Yes. That was brave. She hugs her elephant. Ms. Johnson says telling the truth is always right, even when it's hard. Ms. Johnson is smart. I know. She yawns. I'm going to tell the truth always, even when it's hard. I know you will, sweetheart. I kiss her forehead, turn off the light, leave her door cracked the way she likes it. In the hallway, I lean against the wall and breathe. This is what remains. A daughter who understands integrity better at 6 than her mother did at 34. A scholarship fund that actually helps deserving students. A life rebuilt from the wreckage of lies. Rebecca made her choices. I made mine. The students she hurt are finding their paths forward. Emma will grow up knowing that actions have consequences, that theft is wrong regardless of motive, that sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same thing. I don't know if that's redemption. Don't know if there's a moral need enough to wrap around 8 months of destruction and rebuilding. But I know this. When Emma's old enough to read the trial transcripts, to understand everything her mother did and everything I did in response, she'll see that someone stood up for the students who couldn't fight back. She'll see that truth matters more than comfort. That's enough. I check my email before bed. A message from Kayla Brooks, the nursing student. Finished my degree. Starting at OHSU next month. Thank you for making it possible. I forward it to the Scholarship Fund Board, add it to the file of success stories we're building. 23 students. 18 helped so far. The work continues. Tomorrow, I'll take Emma to school, go to work, review cases, live the life I'm building from what Rebecca destroyed. Next month, the Scholarship Fund will award its first round of funding under the new structure: transparent accounting, independent auditors, board oversight that actually functions. Rebecca will serve 12 years if she gets good behavior credits. Emma will be 18, an adult, making her own choices. Better ones, I hope. I turn off the lights, check the locks, climb into bed. The house settles around me. Quiet, safe, honest. That's all I wanted. All I needed. The truth. And the courage to stand by it. Everything else follows from there.